Good afternoon. I'm going to present to you real quick a little story. A man and his son are in the forest in Alaska. They are taking a little wilderness hike. And the son is about 6 or 7, doesn't have much knowledge of the outdoors world. And his father's taking him through, and he's really enjoying this day on this little field trip. But there's one point where they're walking through, and the boy wanders off a little, and the father loses sight of his son. And all of a sudden, his father hears, "Ah! Daddy! Daddy! What is it? What is it? Come here, quick!" And the father's scared to death. He thinks, "Oh no, what's happened to my son?" And he runs over there real quickly, and he checks real quick, and his father's pointing at this. "What could it be? It's Bigfoot! Oh, it's got to be Bigfoot! No, it's Godzilla!" "No, son, no, don't worry, it's okay. This is not Godzilla, and it's not Bigfoot." His father knew what it was. It was an Alaskan brown bear print in the ground. And since he was able to notice this and see this, because he had this knowledge, he could tell his son, "Don't worry, don't get superstitious, it's none of these monsters. What it is something that we do have to be careful of, and because of his knowledge, they could leave the area and be safe from any danger." I'm not going to talk to you about the Alaskan brown bear today. I'm going to talk to you about what is represented on this poster board right here. The left behind track of an animal. And I'm going to narrow it down to this area around campus, around the lake and around the farm pond, maybe in the muddy areas. So, the first one to begin with is this track. This is before and this is behind. You find this creature often on the highways as you're cycling. It's called road pizza. Well, actually, it's an armadillo. These are all doubled in size, by the way. Now, I want you to see the types of tracks and their differences. They are very distinguishable if you take time and just look. Realize you're 5 to 6 feet high, and you're not going to see a big track in the ground, at least with these creatures. With that bear track, you would have. So, in this case, it looks sort of like a maple leaf, and none of the other tracks do. The back foot actually has an extra toe, probably for support. The next animal is a nocturnal animal. We don't see him much. Often, what happens is you see them on the highway as well, hit by a car. And this is the opossum print. Now notice it looks like a human hand. That's the only difference is it's like if the opossum put its foot down on the ground, it really dug in the first parts of its fingers or its toes. And so it's really fat, and yet it seems like it hardly put any pressure on this part of the finger, so hardly any impressions in the dirt. And one other major distinguishing factor is that if it were a human hand, you must have a double-jointed thumb, because that is pulled back pretty far. And it's just on the back foot. The next one's one we all need to be worried about. If you see this track, hold your nose. It's a skunk. And it's a fairly simple footprint, and I realize it's very small. I did that on purpose because you need to realize that you're not going to see it very well in the dirt. It's very symmetrical. It looks like a baby's foot with 5 toes, except the baby's flat-footed. The impression is very complete all the way through. There's not higher areas in the depression. The next, I guess you're thinking it's a common dog. Well, it's close. It's not a domesticated dog. It's a coyote. And they can often be heard if you're going out in the farm area in the evening and you can hear them howling. There is one difference, though. Often the common dog, their forepaw looks like this, but so does their hind. Notice on the coyote, they don't leave as much of an impression on the back pad. The last one I'm going to speak of is what looks really like a human hand, except it's only about that big. And you might think, what in the world has been in this mud? Well, it's our masked friend, the raccoon. And the difference between this and that, not only is this part, but the impression is fairly even, and so it looks like a regular finger all the way down. I did fail to mention one other creature I will be talking about. It's one that seems to be very important to all men. And God, I think, has created the most beautiful creature in this case. and that is the woman. Now, on campus, you're going to walk across, and you're going to see some areas in the mud where high heels have come across, and this is the high heel print. Now, they're probably more nicely dressed in this case. And then this is the flats print, which they could be nicely dressed or it could be kind of casual. Maybe they're going to class. Uh-oh, this one went to the beach. And she's been out in the sand, walking on the sand. Now, all joking aside, though, it is important to notice the tracks that you run across for the simple sake of interest, but also, what if you do have a son someday, and you're walking along in the forest, and he's going to be the one to find the track. Believe me, he's shorter. He's going to be looking along the ground. He's going to find it. And if he sees this and he says, "Dad, what is it?" "Well, son, frankly, I think it's Godzilla." See, you got it. It gives you that ability to have some knowledge in the case. So, to better further your knowledge, it'd probably be a good idea to actually get a field guide, and they give very good descriptions of animal tracks. So keep on trekking, fellas.